Well, we're living in times, and they're trying times, in fact, a lot of stress that so many people are feeling, and we're concerned about our jobs, we're concerned about whether we're going to be able to keep them, and perhaps when we may find the next one. So it's no surprise at all that this stress can actually trickle down to our families. But the author of this book I want to bring up right here, Man Shoes, The Journey to Becoming a Better Man, Husband, and Father, hopes to make a difference in that. Tom Watson joins us now with a few tips that he believes will help make us all better parents, man or woman. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I love the premise of this book. Love the I'm blessed to have a wonderful husband and father, and I think that a lot of people long for that in their lives, whether it's just a man that's in their life that's their son or their parents. So why write a book about this?
Well, that's a good question. I had a stroke 8 years ago, and I actually wrote the book as a journal to my 3 sons in case I was to pass away. I've been through 13 foster homes when I was a kid, and I had 5 years of my early life that I don't really know a lot about. And so I've always journaled each one of my sons' lives. And so what I thought when I had my stroke was, well, who's going to tell them about their dad? And who's going to tell them the journey that I've lived? And some of the tips that I've learned in my life. And so I wanted to journal back to them. And a friend of mine read my journal, and he said, Tom, that's the best book I've ever read. You got to do something with this. Yeah, yeah. So. And so since you've put this out, what has the response been with men, women, and children? Well, it's been actually it's been amazing. I was talking in the green room about that I never intended to write a book, but it's 5-star on Amazon. People are just gravitating to it. I think because we are struggling in these economic times and being stretched as parents, men and women, to be better at home. And finding work and balancing home life with work life is a struggle. Well, and I think, this is just my perspective, I think that when you have kind of easy going at work, and you've got a job, and you've got the income, and then you've got the family, the management of that stress that you talk about, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Absolutely. But it's when the times get tough on one end or the other, in your home or at work, where that imbalance actually trickles down to your kids, and they are the ones, and your relationships around you are the ones that suffer. Yeah, your relationships around you suffer, and what I've been explaining to people is I've been through those times. I built my own business and focused on building a business and let home life go. And as successful as I was in business life, if my home life wasn't going well, it just wasn't as rich. So my tip to people is stay grounded on building a home foundation that's going to allow you to be successful on both ends of the spectrum. Yeah, you're never going to be, in your final days going, man, if I just had one more day at the office. Yeah, exactly. One more day. Exactly. You're going to be, if I would have been able to have one more day with my sons, or so, in learning that tip of that balance, what other tips can you offer us through your personal experience? Well, when I was working hard to build my business, one of the big things I always thought was I had to do something lavish for my kids or for my wife to make up for the time that I was not there. And what I've realized is that actually those mortar moments, those little moments that you spend, laying on the couch with your son or your daughter, reading, taking a walk with your wife and your dog, those mortar moments that hold our big bricks of our lives together, those are the things that cement our foundation together. And you really don't have to do those big, extravagant vacations that rack up your visa bill to make up for the time. Because then therein lies that stress that we talked about at the onset. So we have to build mortar moments into our life every day. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, but those are very key in your life. And that's something I had to learn in my own life. Yeah, no, my mother made me a cake when I was probably 8 years old, and she used rubber gloves from the kitchen. It was a clown cake. Yeah. I remember it. I'm 37 years old, and I still remember that being the best cake I ever had. Yeah. And she probably took 30 minutes to make it in the kitchen. She didn't buy some fancy, my Sweet 16 kind of birthday party. Exactly. When you talk about being able to change habits, though, I think particularly for men, and this is mildly sexist, so bear with me, but I think men are much more set in their ways. They're creatures of habit more so than women who can kind of go with the flow of the people around them. So how do you kind of encourage men to change a little bit? Well, we do. Men, a lot of men have been raised. I was raised in, this is my role, right? And I go make money, I bring it home, and
right,
you know,
provider.
I'm a provider, and I think what, you know, then this might sound.
Okay, so we're just going to go there.
this might sound feminist here, but we have to get more in touch with our feminist side.
Right.
And in these days where maybe actually you actually have to go out and work as my wife,
right?
And I am at home, and this is my role right now. And so embrace the role that you're in, and to do that we have to get a little bit more in touch with our sensitive side to embrace those roles. And we have to actually think about this, and it does take a lot of thinking for a man, in most of us men, to actually grab a hold of this new role that we're being asked to carry. And but we can do that. And so look for mentors that are going to help you get in touch with yourself, more of your emotional side, and be with your kids, be with your wife, build that home life so you can get back. That foundation is going to help you get back into the workplace.
It's a powerful message, an empowering message, and perhaps the catalyst will be this book right here, Man Shoes. So congratulations on the success that you've seen already in people picking it up and loving it, and the continued success as well, Tom. So.
Thanks.